Hello and welcome to another episode of Journey Towards Freedom. In today's episode of Building Our NPC sub-series, I'd like to show you a little bit of the real example of how the programming and the child traumas can work in the future, how people perceive, how hard is it to raise a child properly. So to set the context, there is currently going on issue with a celebrity couple of an actress, Agnieszka Kaczorowska, and her husband, I don't know, remember his name, but his surname is Pel. So basically, he was a stay-at-home dad that was taking care of the children, trying to raise them, while she was working as an actress and bringing home, taking care of the finances. So now they are in the middle of the divorce, and as it is with celebrities, they try to go on and kind of who is to be blamed for the divorce, who is better, who is worse, and they spill some kind of the secrets from in the inner family and trying to blame each other. I wouldn't focus that much on the story, but how our community reacts to this particular issue and how we can see that almost everything I was talking about in the previous episodes of the Building an NPC comes true. How people actually think that way. And there are many people that do. You can just go on another kind of the portals, see the comments, see what people think. You can go in the public, ask a person about raising a child and see their opinion. You will mostly receive the same responses as I'm gonna present here with the comments. So without further ado, let's go with the first comment. In the top one is the original one that I took from the Polish portal for taking care of the celebrities gossips called pudelek.pl, and in the bottom I have translations in English. So the first commenter says, I beg you, women do it every day and rarely does anyone notice. What's more, they often take care of the whole house and go to work, and no one thanks them or builds monuments. You did your job, man, and that's it. Others, they do theirs too. See? You need to be praised for what you're doing. It's not enough. No one is praising you like they did in the school. And because you're not doing enough, you have to do more than others to be praised. Otherwise, you're just doing regular stuff. I mean, taking care of the house and taking care of the children, that's easy job, right? There's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing fancy. It's not that hard. We do it also all the time. If you're just taking care of it, not working, you're basically nothing special. There's nothing special about it. You're pretty much have no worth. Which another comment also proved this. I mostly focused here on a little bit of the middle part about starting from this and up to this. So on top of that, he was depressed, an unemployed drone with no ambitions or perspective of the future. Who would want a guy like that? See? A man is only perceived, his value is only perceived about his work. If he's a stay-at-home dad, because they probably some time ago agreed on this, he's worthless. He's just a lazy little boy that don't wanna make his hands dirty with work, right? Because your only self-worth is if you are going to work and bringing in money, right? Of course, right, because that's what people actually think, right? Let's take a look at another comment. But professional work is not hell. A woman who works at the same time has a successful home has something to be proud of. On the other hand, sitting at home is comfortable, yes, but what is there to be proud of? Living at someone else's expense? See? You can only be proud of something if you are working and taking care of the home at the same time. Because we cannot split the responsibilities. Yeah, we require two people to go to work. Otherwise, one of them is just a lazy, useless brat that brings nothing to the table. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman staying at home and trying to take care of the children. And I assure you that taking care of the children, trying to raise them to be a moral, responsible adult, is the hardest job you can ever take on yourself. It's the hardest responsibility you can take on yourself. But people feel that seems like it's an easy job. It's nothing worth mentioning. We raise our children and we also work at the same time. That's something magnificent. Yeah, right. Because that's how we end up with the enslaved society that we have right now. We do not raise our children because the system is doing this for us. The government is taking the children while we are at work and they put shitty programs into their heads from the school, from the public education system. So you are not raising your children. But we will go back to later. Okay, so go to another comment. Another user. We didn't appreciate, we don't appreciate, and we won't appreciate. If you want to be appreciated, get a responsible adult job. It's nice to decorate cookies and play with kids while someone else carries the burden of family survival. That's what you chose. That's what you feel comfortable with. That's what you have. But don't expect anyone to appreciate you for it, because that's the path of least resistance. Trying to raise the children is nothing more than just decorating cookies and playing with them. It's not like you are trying to maybe educate them and bring some morals into this. Of course, yeah, if you just take your children to the kindergarten or to school, nursery, you're not taking care of your children. Someone else is taking care for you. But if you would actually do this, that's a really hard job. That's tough job that requires a lot of work and discipline to raise a really responsible adult that understands what objective morality is and natural law, and that person follows it. Only that way, if we start raising our children properly, only then we can break from the chains of the slavery of our current condition we are right in. And now, we'll never be appreciated because there's nothing to appreciate. Just be a stay-at-home parent. You are just lazy. That's the least resistance. So you expect no appreciation. Another one, about the importance of the father. These children are big. They don't need a father at home when they are in kindergarten, right? Only a father at work. Sometimes they'd like to spend time with their mother. But in this situation, the mother had no choice. She had to work for her lazy husband. I had no idea that this young girl was sitting with such a drone and praising him. It couldn't work. How much longer could it be? See, the father figure is not important. Even parents just need to go to work, put the children to school or kindergarten, and forget about proper mother and father figures, raising and educating their child, helping them to become a responsible adult, how to become a successful adult in this world. Nah, screw this. You are lazy if you are doing nothing and just sitting at home. I do agree to a certain degree if you just don't care about raising your children and just pushing them to a kindergarten or school. Maybe you are lazy. Maybe then you are. But if you tried to care for them, that's more important. Don't put them into school. Okay, another. And I wouldn't only have to say, don't shit yourself. You able-bodied with two healthy hands, you took care of the child because your wife couldn't, because she wasn't able to. Respect and admiration. When a woman does it, it's because it's her duty. And when a man does it, applause. Man, get to work and stop whining because you didn't have it bad. Now you want to blame everything on your wife, even though she bent over backwards so you could put food in the pot for those children. See, this is the importance of raising a child. bringing in the money. That's what's important. Nothing else really matters. You have to financially, if you just support financially your child, everything is good. You can go back to the same reason I put when we're discussing the Robert De Niro child, that doesn't matter if he dies or not, because he became a father not long ago, but he will leave his child a bank full of money. So the money is the most important. That's the sweet spot. Nothing else is required from a parent. Just bring in the money. And for the education, we have system. We have the government. We have you all covered. Don't bother. Don't bother about it. We are there for you. Just bring in the money. Go to the fucking work and pull your ass off. There is no respect for you just for being a stay-at-home man. You are only worth as much as you are bringing in the money about your job, because the job is what's important. And only these jobs that brings in a lot of money. That's what you learn in school. You have to go to be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer. Who cares about other jobs that are also so important? Nobody wants to be a garbage man, right? But without the garbage man, who would be living in garbage? Who would be taking this for us? It's an important job, even if it's low-paying one. But thanks to this, we can live in a clean neighborhood. Yeah, but screw them. We only care about bringing in a lot of money. Money is all we want. Of course. Now, let's see what other people think about what it means to raise a child. Oh, he was surprised that the child had to be dressed, fed, and washed every day. He just forgot that the nanny and other ladies were at home every day. Okay, so this is the pinnacle of taking care of your child. The child needs to be dressed, fed, and washed every day. If you do this, you take care of your children. That's all your responsibility as a parent, right? Imagine how dumb you have to be. And just look at the amount of the likes for these people. So many people agree with this. I know that maybe this is out of context, but I trust you. Many people think that this is what is their only responsibility for taking care of a child. Just providing the basic needs. Dressing, feeding, and washing. Maybe providing some kind of shelter. And that's all. Education? Raising the children? No. That's for government. I don't wanna be bothered with this. I have my work, I bring in money. You take care of education of my child. And if my child will end up as a little brat, I will blame education system for this. Because I didn't care to educate my child myself. Now, let's go to the comparison. Women, in addition to what this gentleman does, also take care of house and go to work. This gentleman did not go to work because he worked at home, despite a set of nannies. And they say about a woman that she sits at home. See? This is comparison. You can only be worthy if you do this and that. We compare, you do this, but other people do that and more. Well, grass for them. If they are able to manage this, I highly appreciate it. Personally, I doubt this is possible. It's possible to raise your children and going to work simultaneously. It's hardly possible. You won't have enough time to take care, properly educate and raise your child. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. You want to take this responsibility of taking care of your child and put it onto the government, on the system. Because they told you that they will do it for you. They promised they will take a good care for you. But look at our society. Where are all these good people at? Where are all these moral people? Barely no one is following any objective morality at all. And natural law. We are living in a shithole world. We are enslaved. And guess what? That is partially because of how we don't not partially, mostly because of how we don't raise our children, how we do not teach them about objective morality. Another one about being worth, that you are worth only as much as your achievements. You represents nothing. It's starting from this part, translation about this, so just the middle one. So here represents nothing. Zero professional experience, real education, motivation, life plans. See? About a nice, good system job in some kind of a corporation. Without the real education, the only real education is the one that you receive through public school system and then through the college. If you get a degree of being an engineer, then you are worth something. Otherwise, you represent nothing. You're a worthless piece of shit. How narrow-minded you have to be to think like that. See, but that's coming from school. That's what school tells you. If you don't get a degree, if you don't get school, you are a piece poor person. You cannot even learn. Yeah, learn. By learn meaning memorize all the stuff they are telling you and give it back on the test, and then forget it because you don't need it for another parts of the test. But there were not only negative comments, but they were the vast majority. There were some really nice thoughts of wisdom there. So I'd like to start with first one from Betka. How wonderfully visible in these comments is the hell that women prepare for themselves. Every second every second comment from females is like, so what? Women work and take care of the house at the same time. So don't talk crap, man. Tell that you are taking care of the children and taking care of the house was something important. So to reason this, only taking care of the house and children combined with work can give you a reason to be proud of. Yeah, just raising a proper genius has nothing to be proud of. Trying to raise them. Screw that, you're just a lazy motherfucker that refuse to go to work and bring in money. Because it's all about money. We crave more money. With money we can do everything. We can dress our children, we can wash them, and we can feed them. Which of course we require money in this world. But emotional treatment for the child? Nah, screw that. Who cares about parent and mother and father being there for their children? Let's go to see another comment. He did his job, but he was attacked and belittled. Unfortunately, the bigger hero is always the one who brings in the money. If you both bring in the money, then the bigger hero is the one who brings in more. If the man earns more, the woman, who earns less, is treated like a kept woman. If the man earns less, then he is a wimp. Someone always has to be worse and less appreciated. Those who belittle get satisfaction from it. That's perfectly summarized all the 12 years or more from public education system. We have to compare. There's always someone that is better, is like A and B, and someone is worse, C and D. Because without grading, or in the other word, money, we cannot actually compare two people because it's hard. It's impossible to compare them. So thankfully we have an ability to compare them by the amount of money they bring in. If you bring no money, you bring no value. You represent nothing. Perfect comment from this person. Okay, another one. It's partially a little bit shorter because I didn't want to take this second part, so it's mostly about the first part. Don't fool yourself that you will have the same contact with your child if you immediately send him or her to a nursery and start doing adult work. Then a mother who has at least spent this most important period with the child. I couldn't agree more. If you just send the child away, you are creating the trauma. You are abandoning your own child, which I was talking in my previous episodes. You can go back and see it more in details about the early life. How is it important for the parents to be there for their children? And just because you work and bring in money, It's not that important. You are torpedoing your communication with your children, your ability to be with them. The child will get a trauma, feels like it was abandoned by you. So that's how we work. That's the fact. Okay, and the last one. If a woman goes to work, she probably doesn't take a small child with her. During that time, someone else takes care of the child. Work 8-9 hours, because if there is a lunch break, it's more than 8 hours, plus commuting. Almost the entire day away from the home and without a child. Perfectly summarized. Nothing more to add. If you are working and sending children away, you're working 8 or more hours a day, you are not raising your child. You are not taking care of your child. Someone else is doing this. You pass this responsibility to someone else. I'm sorry, but that should not be the standard way for society to work. This is only benefiting the system and government and enslaving us more and more. With this, we won't raise any good children. Any proper, responsible adults that are with the correct understanding of natural law and objective morality. This won't be happening. And this isn't happening right now. See the current condition of humanity. It's poor. It's poor. But people think it's nothing special to be, if you are just a stay-at-home parent, you're just a lazy motherfucker that represents nothing. So better get a job and go to work for the money, because that's the only thing that matters. And with this, I would like to this would be summarization of this Building an NPC sub-series. From the next episode, I would like to focus in a bit how we can change our way and our direction more to a freedom one. How we can actually educate properly the people. How we can start educating ourselves and our children more. So stay tuned for the next episode. And that's all for today. I'm Arek, and you can visit more of my materials at my website tridentoffreedom.com. And I see you in the next one. Bye.